So we just got to Vegas after an extremely early morning leaving Denver. I'm here right now because I need to pick things up from a storage unit that I've had over winter and move things to my new place in Denver. And my mom is here to help. It's gonna be kind of a bonsai road trip. We're actually trying to get back to Denver tonight. So we're gonna be safe, we're gonna be fast, we're gonna be efficient, and hopefully we're gonna end on my bed, on my floor later today. Are you excited?
So excited. Let's do the thing.
So excited. Well, we have just made it to outside of Palisade, Colorado. I'm losing my voice. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I've been sick for a couple of days now. I thought I was getting a little bit better, but now my voice is gone, so I apologize for that and the loud noise in the background. But we're in Palisade, which means we're about 3, maybe 4 hours away from Denver. I got something warm to drink, and I probably look it, but I'm exhausted, so I'm really excited to get home, to get back to my place where my mom and I are gonna spend my first night there.
Do you want to spill my coffee down?
No worries.
Spill it. Shoot, sorry.
You're fine. I did not think I would be spending the first night there necessarily sick, or without Tara, or with my mom, but I'm excited about it. I think it's gonna be a really nice night. We're gonna get some sleep finally, and hopefully in the morning get to walk around my neighborhood a little bit and get some coffee before heading back down south to tie up all the loose ends before I officially move in next week. But before all that happens, we gotta get to Denver, so let's get back on the road. Well, good morning from the apartment, which feels so weird to say, but after a flight to Vegas and a 15-hour drive back to get all of my stuff that's been in storage and in the camper for the past year, I'm home. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but I'm also quite sick, so I apologize for my voice. The last few weeks have been chaotic, to say the least, and I'm really grateful to be able to say that I can finally see a glimpse of the light at the end of this self-imposed tunnel. And even though I consider myself to be pretty good with all of the changing and moving parts that come with big life changes like this, through it all, it has been so nice to have the support of an outside person, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy service that connects you with a licensed, trained therapist who can give you unbiased advice from the comfort of your own home, whether it's on your phone, your computer, or your tablet, no matter where that is in the world. To sign up, all you have to do is visit BetterHelp's website using my link, betterhelp.com/SheRoamsWild, and you'll usually be connected with a therapist within 48 hours, which if you've ever tried to start therapy before is absolutely record time. So if you've been looking to start therapy to get some advice, to get some support with your mental health and life changes, visit the link down in my description down below, betterhelp.com/sheroamswild, or choose She Roams Wild from the drop-down menu on their website to enjoy a special discount off your first month's therapy. And thank you again to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. All right, friends, well, it has been a couple of days, but I'm back in the apartment, hence the outfit change, but unfortunately, I still sound the same, if not worse, than I did before because I am still sick. But this afternoon, something very exciting is happening, and it actually doesn't have to do with the apartment, but the area that I'm in. And part of the reason why I wanted to move to a city, which I never thought I would say or do, is because of opportunities. I really wanted to be in the middle of things. I wanted to find community, I wanted to put myself out there, I wanted to get involved in ways that I couldn't really do while I was living on the road full time. And today I'm taking the first step towards something like that with none other than a job interview, which shocks me as much as I'm sure it shocks many of you. Now, I don't feel like I need to explain myself necessarily. I will still be doing YouTube, so before you click off and freak out, I'm not quitting YouTube. In fact, I'm doubling down in a lot of ways on my creative process, which we'll get to in a few minutes. But this is just a way for me to ensure that I have more consistent income every single month to cover bills like rent, like parking passes because they cost money in the city, like Tara's upcoming bills that I'm sure are going to hit me like a brick when she starts seeing specialists and going into the doctor more regularly. And I just don't want to have this time of my life laden with so much financial stress that I can't actually enjoy it. And speaking about this transition, I actually got quite a few questions, and I'm still trying to figure out this apartment and where I can like put you guys, because I actually don't have a tripod right now. Maybe you can live here on top of my sink. I got a lot of questions the other day over on Instagram, and I just wanted to take a second to not only acknowledge them, but also answer a few of them. It's always super fun to answer Q&A, and it's also a way for you guys to understand more about what's going on. All right, the first question is from S_Jane_R. Would love to hear more about what you're up to now and how the transition from truck life has been. So Jane, I'll call you if that's okay. The transition has been interesting. I have obviously been under some stress. I think that's part of why I got sick. Just trying to manage not only moving things that were in the camper up here, but also getting the camper ready and the emotional kind of turmoil that's come with deciding whether or not I'm gonna part with my home. So that exists. And also in this other hand, I have been so excited in a way that I never thought that I would be, to get back to, I don't know, my life. My life the last few years has really been living on the road, traveling, meeting community out there. But I also felt that I was missing out on a lot of the things that I previously enjoyed and didn't necessarily want to give up from my past life, if you will. And so overall, I would say the transition is going very well, albeit a little bit stressful. I'd say the last few pieces right now, moving from truck life to house life, are moving past the non-refundable deposit phase of selling my camper, which is where I am now. But in the next week or so, I should be handing the keys over to the truck and saying goodbye to the camper, and at least symbolically, kind of that chapter of my life, and getting a car. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little excited. I'm a little nervous, just because that comes with a lot of variables and unknowns, and I want to make a good decision. But more on that to come. I'm sure you guys will see what my next adventure vehicle is going to be very, very soon. And overall, the transition's going well. Ben Barr asks, have I found living arrangements? And yes, I have. When does school start? Also from Ben Barr. I thought classes were actually starting in May for early summer semester or early summer term, but I'm actually not starting until July, which is really nice because it will give me time to settle in and get, I guess, grounded here before adding something new to my life. But I start in July, and then I'll start full-time studies this fall in September. If you could cook any meal right now, what would it be? Oh man, well, I'm staring at my new kitchen, which is crazy. And if I could cook anything in it, oh, this is not even cooking. I think it just shows like the level that I'm at right now with moving. I really wish that I had a place to sit. I'm currently kneeling on my hardwood floors because I don't have a table or chairs. And I wish that I had a platter of charcuterie to share with a friend and just turn on some fun twinkly lights and maybe some music and feel like this is actually my home. I don't know, it hasn't really felt like home yet because everything is like thrown everywhere and life has been crazy. So yeah, I actually wouldn't cook. I would just cut a bunch of things up, make them look pretty, and enjoy them with a friend. Gosh, I really wish I was not sick for Q&A. Lori J. Strickland asked, how is sweet Tara? Tara's doing well. She is actually down with my parents right now back in Springs, and that is because today with my interview and the camper being like completely emptied out and cleaned, can't really have her in there, and that's just not fair for her to have to sit on a hardwood platform with like no food or water or ability to go in her house. And every time she's been to the apartment, she is just like totally laid out, chewed on her bone, and seems to really like it so far. She also, last time we came here, when I opened the door, went straight to our door and like knew where she was going. So I think she's doing well. Our liver enzymes are still elevated, unfortunately. The mass on her ear is still there, unfortunately. But all of that should be getting figured out and sorted in the next week or two. Once we're up here permanently, I'm gonna get her into a specialist that's here because it's just been really difficult without a vehicle that I can like drive freely and that I can't transport her in right now to get her around and get her places. And frankly, renting a car for like $100 to $150 every day is not in my budget. So I'm trying to save that money and instead just invest in time to hopefully get her into somebody who's going to be able to help her soon. And yeah, once we're settled here, hopefully she'll be on the road to recovery and we'll be able to find some answers that will allow her to really thrive up here in Denver. Sandra L. Chartman asks, how will you furnish your apartment? And I'm kind of up in the air about this right now. I've definitely been perusing Facebook Marketplace, which in the past has been a favorite of mine for some budget-friendly scores. A lot of people will get rid of furniture, especially for like pennies on the dollar for what they paid for it. And I've definitely found that to be the case. But I've been a little bit hesitant to like go out and buy a bunch of stuff just because I feel like I'm in a really unique position right now where I'm in my late 20s. I don't own any furniture other than like my camping table and my camp chair that are in the closet right now. And I have the opportunity to be very intentional about what I'm bringing into this space and what I'm building. And that's the second part, is I actually think that I want to challenge myself to build as much of my furniture as I can. Now that I have some basic woodworking skills, I know how like stain and sealer work, I think if I'm able to find inspiration for pieces that I want, I should be able to make them on my budget, which is far lower than a lot of the things that I want, pretty easily. So in the next couple of weeks especially, you'll likely see a lot of that on my pages generally. Again, jury is still out as to whether that's going to be a separate page or this channel, but I'll be posting more about it and the flips, thrifts, all the things that I find along the way. All right, the next question is from Cattle Prod, interesting name. Why do so many nomads use hyper complex coffee setups instead of an AeroPress? I don't know if this comment is about my last video, which it would be funny if it was, but it probably looked very complex. It was actually just instant coffee and hot water on a little tiny like pocket stove, but I don't know, I think my setup is pretty simple. I usually do use an AeroPress actually, and just boil with my kettle, which you'll see is actually still just on my stove. That is the same exact kettle that I've been using in the camper, and will probably be the same one that I use here. But I don't know, I think coffee is a ritual for a lot of people, myself included, and let's focus here, myself included, and if you can make it fun, why not? I don't know, it's like, why do some people eat cereal and why do some people make like French toast and eggs with fruit and whipped cream for breakfast? Personal preference, people having fun with it. I enjoy fancy coffee sometimes, but I'm definitely, I guess, not that crazy about it. Yeah, I don't know, it's an interesting question. All right, and the last one today that I will be answering is from Sweet It's Cat. Yeah, Sweet It's Cat. How much was the camper shell? I've been going back and forth on a used hardtop versus a new soft top. Good question. And I'm gonna answer something else after this as well that I'm sure you guys are wondering about, but I paid $500 for the top. $500 included leaking windows, broken shades, seals that weren't working properly, and holes in the roof. So that's what $500 will get you. Those tops, so if you go to like a dealership or a fiberglass, like a camper shell top place, they can run you $1,000, $2,000, $4,000, $5,000 depending on the options you put on them. So I would definitely say go used, but just be very mindful of the condition of the camper and don't be afraid to walk away on the camper shell, but also I guess of bigger campers. And yeah, just know what you're looking for before you go into it, because if you don't need all of those options, you can save a lot of money. And that brings me to the next broad question that I've gotten a lot on YouTube actually, is what the heck happened to the camper shell? And I know that was probably so confusing for a lot of you guys, and for good reason, because I went from I'm just selling the camper to I'm buying a shell to, oh wait, the whole camper and truck sold. And that definitely was not the intention. I did not go into this process thinking I'm gonna sell everything and start from scratch. I'm gonna buy a new car. I actually really, really loved my truck and did not necessarily want to sell it. But when the opportunity presented itself, it was really just too good to pass up. And as a result, that's gonna take some getting used to. But as a result, I am now going to be selling the topper as well. So I have mine listed right now for $750. I paid $500. I put probably like 30 hours of refinishing work and reupholstering and insulation and fixing all the windows into it, plus material costs. So I'm really just trying to get back out what I put into it. But if you're in Colorado and you have a first gen Tundra and you're looking for a top, yeah, look in the Colorado Springs, Boulder area, and you'll probably see mine up for sale. All right, I am still figuring out how to record in this apartment. The lighting is kind of crazy and chaotic. I'm a little disheveled and honestly should probably start getting ready for my interview. So I think I'm gonna close the video out here. I know it was on the shorter side this week, but a couple things we learned. One, all of my stuff is now officially out of Vegas. Two, I am moving into my apartment this coming week. I could technically live here now, but I just have too many things to deal with down south, so we're pausing that. The truck and camper did sell. The truck shell is for sale. I'm starting school in July, and I want your feedback. Do I start a second channel? Keep this camping and outdoors and gear and hiking and backpacking with a dog, and then a separate channel for life stuff like this that I just want to share? Or do I put it all in one place? I know what I'm leaning towards, but I'm curious. What do you all think? All that said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, for being here for this entire freaking journey. I've gotten so many comments over the last couple of weeks from some of you who have been here since I had the van, which is just bonkers, because I think at that time, there might have been like 500 of us in this community. So the fact that a lot of you are still here from that time is just so heartwarming. It feels so nice to still have you all here with us. And if it's not for you, I also understand. There's been a lot of changes. I'm gonna stop rambling though now and save my voice for my interview. I'll let you all know how that goes in the next video. And until then, hope you're having a wonderful week. We'll see you next time. Bye.